These are 3 of the most expensive t-shirts that I've ever bought because you, the internet, voted and told me that these were the best possible t-shirts you could buy with your money. Except 1. I downloaded all of your comments on my last t-shirt video and tallied the most mentioned brands that I didn't include. These are 3 of them. But the one brand that tallied the most votes and smoked the competition is a very different brand than these 3. And to be honest, they kind of deceive you a little bit. So we do have to get into that. First off, at the time of recording, I am 5'9", 147.8 pounds. Wait. 147.6 pounds, 5'9", blue eyes. Number 2, the most popular comment I've ever received on this YouTube channel is some guy requesting that I do a nipple test on my t-shirt videos. We have 3 nipple concerns in this video, and luckily only 2 nipples, so one of them is automatically not bad. I could do nipple test, no prob. Do that all the time. Speaking of nipple tests, I was supposed to go outside on this video, but it's supposed to rain today, and I did not want to give you an impromptu wet t-shirt contest. I was very excited to see that this shirt made the list because I never would expect it to have enough recognition to make the list, but I guess I'm wrong. 3.5% of the comments said Front General Store is the best t-shirt. I might agree. This may knock the most voted shirt off of the list. This is made in Japan. I'm assuming the fabric isn't from Japan or something like that, because for $38, it's typically not what you see for that price. And you can kind of see it in the cotton. I think this is an open-ended yarn, so a little rougher, but they sanded it so it has some softness to it. If you're looking for a Japanese-made shirt or just an upgrade to your shirts and don't want to spend over 40 bucks, Front General Store, one of the best shirts that you could possibly get. Front General Store shrink percentage, width 1.2%, length 0%. It's pre-washed. Softness, 6 out of 10. Everybody was like, why does no one on YouTube review Pro Club t-shirts? Frankly, I never reviewed them because I never heard of them, but I bought one and I could see why people are so passionate about this brand. This is an old school American shirt. At least that's what it feels like. I'm 1000% sure this shirt uses open-ended yarns because it's the roughest shirt on this list. But all in all, I like everything about it and has a high neck hole with Lycra in it that supposedly keeps its shape forever. So I really like Pro Club. Thank you for suggesting it. I never heard of it before. Pro Club shrink percentage, width 2.78%, length 6.86%, softness 4 out of 10. Big Daddy Hanes voted the best t-shirt on planet Earth by Esquire magazine. Hanes is the originator of it all. Could also say Fruit of the Loom is as well, but Hanes is the center that all of the other t-shirts in the world are based off of. All of the t-shirts that we're talking about today probably have the shape of this shirt in their bloodline. Much softer than the Pro Club, lighter weight as well. Fit is similar, but the armholes are a little bit lower. This is your classic $10 great shirt. Hanes shrink percentage, width 1.45%, length 6.73%, softness 7 out of 10. We have our first nipple alert, which this is Rating Champ's lightweight t-shirt, so you can expect a little nipple action, although can't see, I mean, I could see the shape of them. How much detail do you want? You probably won't be able to see your nipples with this lightweight t-shirt because I believe, and I'm not positive, that this is a compact yarn, which I didn't know was a term until I did some further research. So there's open-ended yarns, ring spun, compact, which is, there's even less strands sticking out. So you get a very smooth, silky feel to it. I went with lightweight just because a lot of people say they prefer lightweight, so I wanted to try it out. Sorry, battery on my camera died. What were we talking about? Nipples still? Reigning Champ shrink percentage, width 1.27%, length 1.92%, softness 8 out of 10. None of these t-shirts, these next 3 on their own, got enough votes to make the list, but if you put them all together, they do, and they all share something in common. And a lot of people said, why did you not put merino as the best t-shirt on planet Earth? And there is a reason. I'll tell you why after we go through all 3 of these. This video is sponsored by my huge rippling muscles and Trainwell. Your boy Mikey got really into running this year, then almost immediately he injured himself and couldn't run, simply because he didn't train well. But then he got sponsored by Trainwell. Trainwell is a real-life personal trainer in your pocket. Mine's name is AJ. AJ and I text 3 times a week about the workouts that he crafted for me. They're based on my goals, schedule, and equipment, and I tell him if workouts were too hard or too easy. And the best part is, besides the actual working out part itself, AJ does all the work for me. He changes my routines, he modifies my weights if they're too heavy or too light, takes into consideration my injuries, helps me strengthen my legs so I can run more. I really
really like Trainwell.
I wanted to go to a gym regularly, but it's 25 minutes each way to get there. I don't have that kind of time. It stresses me out. But AJ said, don't worry, buddy Michael, because we can just do the workouts in your tiny apartment, and if you have a gym near you eventually, you can start going there.
Everything is in the app, there's detailed videos, and anyone can follow them and do workouts whenever they want, wherever they want. And obviously I could work out on my own, but AJ's always there to give me that little boost of motivation. He's like, hey man, let's get a workout in today. And then I do. And then I get in shape. I actually got in so much better shape because of the sponsorship that my girlfriend Taylor offered to pay for a Trainwell subscription for me after this sponsorship ends. Which is good. It's really, honestly, I recommend you check out Trainwell. It's pretty great. You can check out the link in my description to get a 14-day free trial with your own personal trainer. Thanks, Trainwell. Alpaca, merino, whatever it may be, these animal fibers all have a very important factor that makes them, in some ways, better than cotton. But cotton originally, I think, was used just because it was an everyday fabric or fiber that could be treated pretty carelessly. You could throw it in the wash, it's tough, you can sweat in it, it doesn't matter. Where merino and alpaca, you could do that with all of them, but at the time, they didn't have the technology that they have now, which we'll get to in a second. But this is a shirt from Paca. They gave it to me for free. Mostly it's Supima, 85% Supima, 15% Royal Baby Alpaca fibers. This is a lot more odor resistant than cotton, way more than synthetics in general. It's temperature regulating, it's moisture wicking. Cotton absorbs moisture like nobody's business, so that's never a good thing. This is a shirt I bought from Wool and Prince, and I will say I got the wrong one. I should have got the interlock heavier weight t-shirt from Wool and Prince. That one I think would have drove me nuts. I think I would have went crazy over that one. It's very light, flowy, and you could see very, very stretchy. So the reason merino wasn't used when cotton was is because merino is more delicate when it's this light of weight, that small of a micron. But nowadays, what we can do essentially is wrap merino with nylon, and it becomes way, 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 way stronger. You don't have to worry about it getting holes or tears or anything like that, and you can make it very, very fine, which is great. That being said, the reason that I don't think it fits in right now is because it's very clearly has a different drape. It feels like something I would wear when I'm working out, not something when I'm being more casual, because of how merino looks, the luster of it, the bounce of it, and everything like that. Samurai is one of the most interesting Japanese denim brands, or just Japanese brands in the world, because it almost seems like they're making fun of all the other Japanese brands by going even more extreme. This is a Samurai loop-wheeled t-shirt, and the big thing in loop-wheel culture is to say, these machines are so slow, they can only knit 1 meter of fabric per hour. Samurai comes in and says, 1 meter? Oh my gosh, slow down. We can only do a half meter of fabric per hour. It's even slower. And they take all of their cotton and they put it in a controlled environment so the cotton, since it's compacted in bales, can open back up and be fluffy and be moist and be magical. That is what they say about this shirt. It's a fantastic shirt. I will say, I really don't, they say it feels almost moist to the touch. I didn't really get that. It is a very light terry knit on the inside, so it's a different knit, and I feel that. I don't feel a sense of moisture. That being said, 10.34% of you voted for Samurai as the greatest t-shirt brand. I do agree. I actually have an old Samurai t-shirt that I've worn incredibly heavily. This is just a regular t-shirt from Samurai as far as I can tell. I don't remember the model of it. It was like 90 bucks, but that being said, they are all stunning quality. Also, it is like 90 degrees in here, so I am covered in sweat. That's why I may look like I'm about to drop dead. Samurai shrink percentage. Width, 1.28%. Length, 2.91%. Softness, 6 out of 10. From the Iron Snail desk, we present to you a shirt that I really like. This shirt officially got none % of the votes. I went rogue. This is just a shirt that I really liked and I wanted to buy, and I used this video as an excuse. Glad I did. This shirt, it feels like right now I am shirtless. This is the most amazing shirt on this list by far. Not to compliment myself, but I knocked it out of the park. Loop and Weft has been a brand that I've been creeping on for a very long time. All of their knits look so stunning. I don't think they have a big presence outside of Japan. I got this from Redcast Heritage, but couldn't find much else on them besides on Okayama Denim. This is an incredibly slubby t-shirt, and the slub yarns are so inconsistent that where the slub is not, this is basically like a gauze of a shirt, but where there is slub, it's closed and opaque. I'm also very into these tiny collars right now. This is like a 1/4 inch collar or something like that. I think that's a great look. Nothing really to say besides go on Loop and Weft's Instagram and check out all their stuff. Not sponsored by them, never spoke to them, no benefit talking about them this much. Just amazing. I was so happy with this shirt. that I want to share it with you. Loop and weft shrink percentage. Width, 0%. Length, 1%. Softness, 6.5 out of 10. I'm going to do an entire video on this, but this is the Sea Island Cotton t-shirt from Sunspell, getting 13.79% of the votes. A $200 shirt got almost 14% of the votes. This is by far the most luxurious shirt that I've ever worn. Sea Island Cotton, you may not know, is the longest staple cotton in existence, although now in 2024 we have Pima, Supima, Egyptian cotton, Zimbabwean cotton, Belize cotton. A lot of cottons that get very long, and a lot of the softness and feel on t-shirts is how they are processed. So you can get a shirt that might feel close to how soft this is, but it's virtually unmatched. You can make Sea Island Cotton virtually feel like silk, to the point where Queen Victoria, a queen, mistook Sea Island Cotton for silk. If a regular person did that, I feel like it's more like, well, you probably just haven't touched a lot of silk. Queen Victoria was touching some very nice silk. Sea Island Cotton is supposedly also all of what James Bond wears. Daniel Craig wore Sunspell in movies. Long story short, yes, it does feel incredibly soft and beautiful. If you're thinking, is it worth it? Is it really that much softer for $200? Honestly, yeah, kind of. Sunspell shrink percentage. Width, 9%. Length, 8.57%. Quick note, the shrink values are so high because you're not supposed to dry this. I dried it by accident, so you wash it very delicately and treat it like a very fine sweater, not a t-shirt. Softness, 10 out of 10. 20.68% of you voted for a Warehouse 4061 t-shirt. Frankly, t-shirt that I never really looked at, but I will say they have probably the most beautiful color loop wheel t-shirts that I've seen. They have a very interesting collar, which is a bound collar with a reinforcement on the outside. The fabric itself is a very interesting slubby material, and I wrote in my notes, this shirt, the Warehouse shirt, has the it factor out of all of these shirts. When you look at it, it might be the tag or the design or how it's presented. You just think, that's a great shirt. I want to wear that shirt. And that is exactly what I think with this Warehouse t-shirt. Warehouse 4061 shrink percentage. Width, 3.85%. Length, 4.18%. Softness, 7 out of 10. Now, with a staggering 25.8% of the votes, is the $30 loop wheel t-shirt from Bronson. Anytime I do a t-shirt video and I don't include Bronson, I get a lot of comments saying, why didn't you include Bronson? Have you heard of Bronson? Have you heard of, I think it was called Older Beast, I think as well. I have reviewed Bronson and I said it was one of the greatest deals in t-shirts, but there's a catch. First thing we need to address is the Older Beast company. I don't know why I'm forgetting it. I think that's the same company as Bronson, and I noticed that because of their description for a loop wheel t-shirt. I was like, that's the same description as Bronson's, so I think they're the same brand. Cut, beep. There's actually a bit of a crazy revelation here because there's two t-shirts on Older Best. One of them I didn't see, and the one I didn't see is the special one. They use the Tompkins knitting machine, which is supposedly even more rare than a loop wheel machine, to the point where that's what Loop and Weft used to use, and apparently now they have no one in Japan to operate the one machine they have to do this knit, but Older Best does, and they offer it for beep beep. I'm editing the edit. I'll say what I say at the end, but the second thing we need to address, well, first off, let's gauge this t-shirt. Oh.
What's going on? Got another one from you. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I just got a delivery of cashmere. For $30, the weight of this t-shirt is fantastic. It feels combed, it feels ring spun. The collar is very beefy. This is the shirt that I reviewed almost 2 years ago that I've worn very heavily. It fits me really well. I just cleaned it, but it's gonna be my shirt for a very, very long time. I love this shirt. However, the only thing that I am not a fan of is that Bronson says it is a loop wheel t-shirt, but by definition, it is not a loop wheel t-shirt. The problem is, we don't have a solid definition of what loop wheel is, and Bronson is basically saying, well, since we don't have that definition, this is just like a newer, faster loop wheel, which is just kind of a traditionally knit t-shirt. That's a bit confusing. I wish they didn't put loop wheel anywhere on the actual website. They don't put it on the shirt, but I wish they didn't put that there. Beep beep. I just got confirmation that Tompkins knitting machines are cool. They are not loop wheel. By definition, there is no tension on the knit when you're knitting with loop wheel. The picture that Older Best shows the knit under tension. So definitely not loop wheel. And that does kind of call into question if they're actually using very old machines to make these shirts, or if they're using a new Tompkins knitting machine. Bunch of stuff I don't have information on, but definitely can confirm not loop wheel, and then, use your judgment on the rest with price and stuff like that. Bronson shrink percentage. Width, 2.26%. Length, 6%. Softness, 5.5 out of 10. Bronson's rival for this video, and a brand I think you should really check out, the Front General Store. They get the title for today. Anyways, actively gonna put on the air conditioner as we talk. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week where we will finally back to be our regularly scheduled programming. Thanks again for the sponsor, Trainwell. Check out the linkity-pinkity down below to sign up.